This is a question on applications of differentiation, tangent, and normal. Now it is given to us that the equation of the curve is root 4 of 11 minus 10x minus x squared. Now how do you know that this is a differentiation question? Given to us that the normal of the curve. Now in normal, it is closely related to the word tangent because of the relationship m1 times m2 equals to negative 1. So you may think of this as a coordinates geometry question or differentiation. But coordinates geometry, you will need more than that. For example, you will need coordinates, you will need the curve, you will need all sorts of length, midpoint relationship, but there's none here, okay? So this must be a differentiation question. So before I perform differentiation, I'll express the equation of the curve as index form. So 11 minus 10x minus x squared to the power of 1 over 4. So I'll perform my differentiation. Power 1 over 4 go to the front as coefficient, and I'll have 11 minus 10x minus x squared to the power of negative 3 over 4. And now I will differentiate the expression inside. So for that, that will give me negative 10 minus 2x. Now, please simplify 1 over 4 and negative 10 minus 2x. So for that, I will have divided by 2. So that will be 5, and this will be 1. Now take note that both terms here has negative sign. So for that, I'll be having a negative for the fraction, and I'll have a denominator 2. And for the numerator, I will be having 5 plus x. Now, common mistake here, it's a plus. Many students will actually think that it's a minus, but it's not, because the minus sign outside here, it's for both the numerator terms. So when you expand it, so that will give you a negative x, which is the same as the question here. So for your denominator, the power is negative 3 over 4. So that will be a root 4. So 11 minus 10x minus x squared to the power of 3. So that's your dy dx. Now let's take a look at the question now. The normal to the curve is parallel to y-axis. So for part 1, parallel to y-axis. Now if you need some visualization, parallel to y-axis, it means a vertical line. Now, what is the tangent? What is the gradient? Sorry, what is the gradient of parallel line? That would be undefined. Okay, so gradient is undefined. Now take note that the question here is talking about the normal of the curve. You know that m1 times m2 is equals to negative 1. It is a negative reciprocal relationship. So gradient of normal would be 5 plus x is in the denominator, 2 root 4 of power 3 of 11 minus 10x minus x squared will be the numerator. So for the gradient to be undefined, which means that my 5 plus x will need to be equal to 0, because when the denominator is equal to 0, my gradient of normal is undefined, which will be parallel to the y-axis. So for that, make x as a subject, x will be negative 5. So since the question is asking just for the x coordinates, we are done here for part 1. Now for part 2, the normal to the curve again, it's parallel to the x-axis. So if you need some visualization, parallel to the x-axis, for example, over here. So for that, the gradient is equals to 0. So in what circumstances the gradient of normal is equals to 0? So which means that 0 equals to 2 root 4 of 11 minus 10x minus x squared power 3 over 5 plus x. Now you can always multiply both sides by 5 plus x, which means the 5 plus x will disappear. Similarly, you can divide by 2 on both sides, which means the 2 will disappear. You can put power 4 on both sides and take cube root, which means that your expression 11 minus 10x minus x squared equals to 0. Now usually I'm not used to having coefficient of negative for x squared, so I will multiply both sides by negative 1. But this step is not compulsory, so plus 10x minus 11 equals to 0. Perform your factorization, or many of you will be using your calculator to factorize it. So you'll give two answers here, x equals to 1 or x equals to negative 11. Now choose your answer carefully. Q lies on the right hand side of the y-axis. Right hand side of the y-axis, which means that it will be positive x. So then x equals to negative 11 will be rejected because x has to be more than 0. So my only answer is x equals to 1. Now if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe this channel for more videos like this. I have a lesson package on the application of differentiation. Questions are from school's prelim or end of year paper. Just like this question is actually from an IP school. Do look at the description for more information.